This pin is a symbol that we use instead of a gavel to signify the change between one presidential role to the next person. And it is with greatest pleasure that I ask you to welcome the man who in moments will be your next president, Dan Thurmon, CSP, CPAE.
Now, if you know me, you probably expected me to begin my presidency by doing something dramatic or even acrobatic. Not today. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Unless by using our uniqueness strategically, we can advance an important idea. Well, we have a lectern. Okay. Now remember, this is strategic, because if you look at this lectern, what you see is it looks stable, it looks solid, it's secure, right? But if you apply external force, outside pressure, or add weight on top of it, suddenly it becomes precarious. It's sort of like our businesses, and if you've been in the speaking business for any length of time, you know that those outside elements can cause great disruption, whether it's a global event, economic impact, your personal health, or just a new reality. So how do you position yourself atop uncertainty? Well, the same is true for NSA. The same challenge we face, and I'm going to try to answer this challenge, but also demonstrate. All right, wait. All right, check it out. I'm up here literally trying to stay in the same place. The harder and the longer that I do it, the harder it gets. Looking at my countdown clock, I only have another 15 minutes and 37 seconds, 35, 34. But after all this work, the real key is I have not gone anywhere. I haven't gone anywhere. I'm still in the same place. I'm just a lot more exhausted. And sometimes that same truth can be true for NSA. We work really, really hard to stay pretty much where we are. But why protect the same space where we are when there's a huge stage awaiting us of new opportunities, new areas of impact, new audiences, and greater value to realize? Now that's part of my vision for NSA. But first, please, let me just thank you all. I'm honored and immensely proud of this amazing association. I'm proud of the cumulative positive effect of our members' lives and businesses upon the world. In a time when the world is hurting and consumed with negativity, we stand together to contribute a different voice, an encouraging voice, a helpful, hopeful, heartful voice. When I think about NSA, I often imagine that combined chorus of voices echoing around the world for decades, elevating the potential of humanity and furthering the success of dedicated achievers. That's amazing. And we are here, as you've heard throughout this conference, because 45 years ago, a small group of such individuals like you, led by a man named Cavett Robert, decided to see what would happen if they could unite as one to elevate this profession, to grow the market, and by sharing what they knew and what they struggled with, each become better. They had big dreams and a desire to profit. They had a competitive spirit, but not, I think, in the sense of becoming better than others, but to be more truly themselves. You see, this business, in whatever form that takes for you, provides the opportunity to pursue our dreams, to serve others, while also improving ourselves and our good fortunes. And that is incredible and incredibly difficult. And so worth it. Would you agree? I think so. I mean, as NSA members, that's what we think, and we lean into the challenges. We unite to learn and to encourage one another. We leverage each other's experiences and examples, not to replicate, but to innovate, to create our own place in this profession, our unique contribution, our voice. We owe an incredible debt to the founders of NSA and to our past presidents for creating and preserving a culture of sharing and continuous improvement. There is so much to be proud of in our story. I would love it if all the past presidents in the room right now could stand up and be recognized. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much. Like, take Don Hudson there, who just stood up. Don Hudson, our third president. You could call him our Thomas Jefferson, right? And also one of the founders. I was in Memphis last month hanging out with Don, and he told me a story of the very first board meeting. Shortly after he had the idea, Cavett called together a select group of men and women and said, here's what we're going to do, and laid out the vision. And as it began to become contagious, suddenly someone had a question and said, you know what, this thing is going to take some seed money. I suggest that we all, everybody in this room, kick in $500 just to get it going. And there was a hush in the room. And then one by one, each of them wrote a check. And as Don said, I never asked for my money back, and no one ever offered. Don never got his money back, and you won't. In fact, that's a policy I'm now reinstating with the entire board. Whatever your speaking fee, just ante up. Now, I mean, as you told me, in 1973, $500 would have been an ambitious speaking fee. And most of us never knew that story. Knowing makes a difference, doesn't it? Yeah. And while that story is remarkable, it's hardly unique. The same spirit of personal contribution and generosity has been sustained and replicated in thousands of ways. And we've all experienced it. For me, it started in 1994 when I shared the stage with Shep Hyken here in Dallas. We were both working on an event. Afterward, seeing what he did and how he integrated his talents with his keynote, I said, I have a similar vision for my life and my business. He said, well, you need to join NSA. And so I did over the phone, and I showed up, already a member, to my first meeting at NSA Georgia. Yeah, NSA Georgia. I love our chapters. I mean, think about that. Our chapters are so often the first NSA experience that anyone has. And my first meeting was a doubleheader lineup of Shep Hyken and Ron Carr, both future presidents. Instantly, it felt like home to me, and I would do anything to belong there. 3 months later, I experienced that same feeling in a bigger way, on a broader scale, when I attended my first national convention. 1994, Naomi Rhodey and Glenna Salisbury's legendary Privilege of the Platform masterpiece in Washington, D.C. Yeah. So I headed there, and I was going to do a little 8-minute chapter showcase at this event. And so I was excited. I had my name badge and my orange stripe as a first-timer. And the day before the event, I was walking through a hallway, taking in the Hilton, and I noticed a sign that said pre-conference speaker briefing. I thought that must be for me, and walked in the door, immediately sat down as I realized this was a small room, and an elegant room, and a small group of people, and these weren't showcasers. No, there was Naomi and Glenna, and there was Zig Ziglar. Zig Ziglar. And there was Jerry Coffey and Patricia Ball and George Walther. These were the keynoters, folks, for the event. They should have kicked me out, but they didn't. And sitting in that room, surrounded by those legends, I was mesmerized, inspired, and not by their business models, but by their command of language, by their power of their presence, and their ability to use this art form to change lives. I saw that that was a potential future for me. I saw the impact they were having, and I knew what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. Immediately, I called my wife from a payphone, as was then the custom. Yeah, and I said, honey, you are gonna love these people. Well, honey, was I right or was I right? Yeah. I've been able to learn, experience, and achieve so much and find my truest friends all because of NSA. The history of this organization is profound and profoundly important. And I'm just so honored to be a part of it and to serve you. In every era, NSA leaders have made our organization stronger for the future. So today, our critical challenge, as you see, is how can we elevate our unique culture while staying robust and relevant in an ever-changing market? Traditionally, an induction speech like this one is a celebratory, upbeat, happy affair, and we are upbeat, and we will celebrate tonight at the farewell party. But frankly, my talk today has to be different because of our circumstances. Folks, this is a defining moment in our history. So I want to share with you 3 truths. Here's the first truth. Today, NSA does not make a profit. While we remain in a strong financial position, thanks to the wise investments and decisions of previous years, the truth is that NSA is not presently profitable. Each year, in order to create our capstone experiences like this one or the conferences throughout the year, we face higher meeting costs. Would it surprise you to learn that of your $1,200 registration for Influence, $800 was simply a pass-through cost for food and beverage? Yeah. Add in other costs like the production you deserve and expect, and here's the result. This event used to be our largest revenue generator, but for the past several years, it's lost money. And we don't even pay speakers. Now, that's not the fault of anyone. Think about it. Thanks to amazing volunteers like Jill and Corey and countless others who dedicate their time and talent and energy and content, we are able to put on a convention that would rival the quality and value of our biggest multinational clients, and we do it for the fraction of the cost. But the truth remains, something must change, or it's only a matter of time before this party's over. Here's the second truth. As an association, we get easily distracted. We don't always focus on what matters most, and that wastes our time, our money, and our energy. As a member and as an officer, I've noticed that sometimes we just try to do it all. We have that desire to serve and to do everything, and as a result, just one issue or one situation can take hostage everyone's energy and just immediately halt progress. It feels like you're getting something done, right? But you're really not. But now, today, we have a fantastic CEO in Mary Lou. Yeah, we do. We have an engaged, capable staff, and I've seen that transformation of their culture just happen, and it will continue to build and happen. And we have absolutely passionate members. We have an opportunity. But today, our staff is overwhelmed. When one issue or one challenge pops up, it's suddenly like a jump ball. Everyone wants to jump on the same issue. Because often as members and speakers and entrepreneurs, that's what we do. We are problem solvers. And every new emergency can become the next magnet of our focus. But jump balls work really well in the NBA, but they don't at NSA. I promise you. Because the motivation is good, but the results are not consistent. And as a result, we waste a lot of your energy, our staff's energy, and our board's energy. Because we just don't have the capacity to do everything and for everyone to work on various projects. And, as you'll remember, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Here's the final truth. Because of those first two, no profit and spending our energy on distractions, our present path is not sustainable. If we keep along this same path, our business model will fail, and we will lose what we love about this community. As your president, I will not let that happen, because I don't think you want that to happen either, right? All right, that's the tough part. Here's the good news. I share those truths with you because knowing makes a difference. And I know this NSA family. I know that if we're all looking at the same picture, we'll come together to support that vision, to solve those problems, and to create an abundant future. The solution is not for all of us to do more, but to do less, so we can focus on doing what we do better than anyone, to create the greater capacity to do more of what matters most, and to do it better than we ever have before. So, what does NSA do better than anyone else on the planet? Here's what I feel. NSA helps leading speakers improve their skills, grow their businesses, and increase their impact on the world. And if you don't think you can get better, you probably shouldn't be a part of NSA. NSA is the multiplying force that accelerates improvement and that amplifies powerful ideas so that our members can prosper while creating worldwide change. You see, NSA is dedicated to helping you do that even more effectively and more profitably than you have ever done before. Not just now, but in the future of this ever-changing and growing profession. That must remain our focus and priority above all other opportunities and distractions, because you can't do it all. We can't survive by focusing on member issues, but we can grow and thrive by focusing relentlessly on member value. We've talked about that here at this convention. We have some exciting opportunities like healthcare, which you've heard a lot about. Now, I do believe that if we can provide quality, competitive health care for our members, and that is within reach, that will be a game changer. People will be asking, how can I suddenly become a member of NSA? And it will raise the visibility of our organization. But listen, there are lots of other ways that we can deliver similar transformative value for your life, for your small business, and the idea that I envision is it's just going to cost way too much to you not to be a member of NSA. That's the type of value equation I think we need to have. And then the community and the experience and the friendships and the relationships are this incredible bonus that we really glean as we go. In order to achieve this vision, in order to create the member value, and there's a lot of ways. We've talked about the events. You saw some teasers for next year's influence, which will be huge. It will be different. We're going to reach out to a wider audience, engage different partners. You're going to see that in an incremental way at Winter Conference. The idea is to deploy our resources differently, even including the youth program, which is an incredible asset. I have kids in the youth program. Many of you have as well. A lot of our members don't even know about it. But guys, men and women, if we are in the business of influence, we are also developing influencers through our youth program. And that is a story that needs to be told. Here's the thing, we can't have jump balls. Our members care deeply and have great intentions, but there's a point where volunteer activity and input can hinder more than it helps. So we need to find a more effective way of leveraging our passion and talents among our membership so that we can use those strategically. And while we figure that out, We need to protect the staff and Mary Lou and our board from spending time right now on these pop-up issues. So I want to give our staff, where's our staff? Right here, right? I want to give all of you permission to say to me or to say to any other member, I'm sorry, I can't work on that right now, Dan, because I need to focus on member value. Cool? Very good. Yeah. So I've talked about some things that need to maybe change somewhat, that need to shift. But one thing that should never change is our culture. I mean, that's where you fit in every single day through every interaction, the spirit of Cabot, the spirit of NSA. And that's where each of us can add tremendous value. So please, let's embrace and expand our unique culture, a culture of excellence, abundance, and kindness. We treat each other with respect and care. We choose respectful communication and generosity, not because it's easy, but because it's right. And we assume the best about each other's intentions and actions. We share ideas and encouragement, and we embody the principle that it is impossible to give more than you receive. Do we do it perfectly? No, but that's the aspiration. And we need to make sure as we tell your story, you tell our story. Let's make sure all of our guests and new members feel this energy every time they walk in the room. Because I'll tell you, I've seen surveys from new attendees who can say that it's difficult to fit in because everyone appears to be in their own clique. That makes sense because we have our friends. We want to be with the people we love and we care about. But think about it. If a new member or a new guest feels ignored, judged, prospected, that is an immediate violation of who we are and our spirit. We need to protect that. We need to call it out. The accountability principle that we heard about today kicks in because we are who we say we are. We are who we practice being, and we are what we voice every single day. Friends, this is a pivotal moment. And I've shared some hard truths because I know this family. In this moment, we have a chance to pivot our association, an opportunity, and the future will be strong and will be secure. And it will take all of us thinking a little bit differently and doing only what we do best. Our past is a story of bold moves and inspiring innovation, and so is our yet unwritten future. You know, NSA has always been blessed with passionate and generous members and benefactors. That's why, for example, we own our own headquarters building in Tempe, Arizona. A small group of members did that for us. They purchased the building and said, here, because of what they believed NSA did in their lives, what they were grateful for what this association has provided them. Well, it's our turn. It's our turn to roll up our sleeves and to work to ensure that this legacy is preserved, elevated, and amplified. We need your membership, and we need your support. We are on the job of solving the challenges required to run this business profitably while also offering you more value than ever before. We will deliver to that promise so that our amazing story will live on for decades to come. It's a fantastic time to be a member of NSA and to watch this story take place. It's an honor and a privilege to be serving as your president through this transformation. And I ask for your support, your prayers, your patience, and your help as we continue to blend our voices, get better together, and create our individual envisioned dreams, because the world needs us and we need each other. Thank you so much.